Hi, this is Peter Godinez, your ambassador with K80Y TV, with another version of Good Morning Oxnard. And we have the lovely privilege of having Tiffany Morris, who is the director of the Career Education Center, also known one time as the ROP. That's not a very good thing to say. But we are here to get an update from her because we want to know and be up to date just about some of the new things going on with the Career Education Center. So as I say, less of me, more of you, Tiffany, but thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy too. So anyway, tell us what's going on. There's so much going on in education, and you're leading the way.
We are. We're doing really amazing, innovative things because we can, which is very exciting. So as you mentioned, the Career Education Center, which used to be the regional occupation program, the funding model has changed significantly. And so we changed our name to the Career Education Center to reflect the broader mission of what we're doing. So what we're really trying to do is to provide boutique programs for students that they wouldn't otherwise be able to access through their district. So for example, we have an unmanned aerial systems class, a drone class, where students learn how to build, fly, and program drones.
Wow.
That's actually held at Channel Islands at their university, and we have a high school class with some adult students who also attend. We have a mobile app design class, design and development. Our students are developing apps for local nonprofits and companies. So for example, our students are designing the app for the Santa Paula Animal Rescue Center. We have a video game design and development class. We just wrote a grant for a high school mechatronics program.
Wow. It's incredible. And you know, there's just so many more after that. I know you have a limit to what you can say, but you know, there are so many potential things. So, and there's nothing wrong with auto shop and the dental things, but there's just so much more now to the CEC, right?
So our job is to really provide options for students with all of the potential programs that they could go into for careers. So our motto is career ready, college prepared. So we really want students to understand that it's not about college or a career. So sometimes those programs like auto shop and welding and auto body are put to the side as seen as kind of less than valuable, but really we want to show students that just because you're in auto body or auto shop or welding or any of those programs, one, doesn't mean that you're not going to go to college.
Right.
Two, it doesn't mean you're not going to be prepared for college. And three, it means that you can go out and get a well-paying job as a high school student. You can leave high school and you can be making $20 an hour, $30 an hour if you're well prepared for that career. So we just want to give students options no matter where they go after our program to be able to make a living wage, to have skills, to have some of those skills that you need when you are finding and getting and keeping a job.
No, I love it. I'm on the same page with that. So I think what I'd like to ask, and I don't think this is putting you on too much of the spot, no, that's not that intense, but how the dynamics of the relationship between high school and CEC and community college is changing, because the collaboration between those organizations has become so key, and you've kind of become like the orchestra leader of making sure that you connect. Can you explain how that relationship has changed?
I'm really glad that you asked that question, because that's part of our goal, is really truly to connect what we're doing and to, I know people say this all the time, but to break down the silos. And you know that collaboration is really more than having just kind of a common goal. Collaboration is when you have an identical outcome. And so we are really truly collaborating in this county for the first time in a long time. So from the high schools, we have a new Career Pathways Trust grant called VC Innovates, and we got $13.2 million, and we have 9 high school districts signed up to collaborate, meaning we all have an identical goal, which I'll talk about in a moment. Okay. We have the 3 community colleges, and we have 3 adult schools. And so for the first time, we're all coming together, meeting in the same room, talking about the same identical goal of serving students. So part of that goal is to develop these pathways, and instead of having a secondary program where you go through some classes in high school and then having a post-secondary program where you go off to community college or adult school and those aren't connected, we are working on having one program of study in multiple industries throughout Ventura County. So for example, if we take auto body, you could take an auto body 1 class in high school. You can get credit in high school for free for that class from the community college district. And then when you go to community college, you don't have to take Auto Body 1 again, you start in Auto Body 2 because it's sequenced to what you did in Auto Body 1.
Perfect.
So we're trying to do that in 67 different pathways throughout the county to develop one articulated program of study where you can get credit in high school for college, and then when you go to high school you don't have to repeat any of the classes and you don't have to repeat the information because you learned it in high school and it's all connected. So we're very excited about that work.
No, I really, as I listen to you, Tiffany Moore, it educates me, because I hear the word, well, people should be held accountable, and so many times the finger is pointed at the teachers, the administrators, but as I listen to you, I see it more as an accountability for the student that, you know, opportunities are there, you know, and it's like you're almost making sure that the wrong pathways are not there. And one of my favorite ones is to go down a path that leads you to big debt, no job, and debt that never be forgiven, if I could be so brutal. I don't mean to offend anybody, but that's a reality that's happened. But that's kind of like what you're doing, is you're creating opportunities for everyone. You know, people who are academically smart and are gifted, and people who are hands-on service related, and all with the goal of living comfortable lives, revenues coming in so they can be with their families. Can I net it out that way?
Sure. So part of the reason I love this job and I love this work is I think about my brother who went to high school and he didn't love reading books, he was one of those, what you would say, kind of a non-traditional, non-academic student, right? And so but he was very smart, he just didn't necessarily study and get all A's, and so in high school they put him in the old voc ed classes and kind of, you're not going to go to college, and so you go over here and you learn this. And so he went through, not an ROP class, but he went through some of those voc ed classes and he learned a lot of skills with his hands, and he learned how to build things and how to think critically. And he got out of high school and he got his associate's degree in automotive, and he got actually 2 associate's degree, and he was a bus mechanic for a few years. And then when he was 24 or 25, he realized that he wanted more, so he joined the Army and he enlisted. And so flash forward 5 years later, he's now a helicopter pilot.
Wow.
He's a warrant officer, he's getting his bachelor's degree, and he's ready now. So it wasn't that he was never going to go to college, it's not that he was one of those students who's not smart. He had just as much potential, he just took a different path. And so part of my mission in this job is to develop pathways for all students. We're not sure when you're going to go to college, but we want to prepare you to go to college if you choose to at any point in your life.
Exactly.
We want to give you the skills because at the end of college, you're still going to get a career.
Yes.
So the goal of everything, if you remember those old Game of Life boards where there were 2 pathways and one said start college and one said start a career, at the end, you're always going to have a career. If you go on that college path, you still end up right back on the other path that says start a career. So our job is to prepare students, no matter where they are in the program, for the career that they're eventually going to have.
That game hasn't changed over years, you know. Again, we talk about the game Monopoly and how much that's affected our culture. No, I just think what you talk about is wonderful. I think you're a great person that you stimulate things that people are afraid of. And I won't name any specific examples, but I call it the kukui or boogeyman theater. And it's just like, you can step up and you can just say, why is it this way? And let's do it. You know, we'll figure this out. And so I just think it's changed. So I guess the question I want to ask you, and you can tell the audience, is what encouragement, what support do you need of us and the people who you're talking to right now to make all this happen, Tiffany? Is that a fair question?
That's a great question. So one of the things, I'm not doing anything that someone before me hasn't done and someone who comes after me isn't going to do. It just, sometimes there's just a time where it's ripe for collaboration, and that's really truly what I do, is I help to bring to the table collaboration, but collaboration is really scary. And like you're saying, it's when you're trying to change the status quo, that's very difficult for people, and when you're comfortable, it's difficult to change. So part of my goal is to say, we're going to change and it's going to be okay. And the other part of what we're doing is we're saying collaboration is hard. It's really hard to sit in a room and to come up with a common goal and to come up with an identical objective. That's very difficult, but it's the work that we need to do in education right now. And so what we need is support in identifying that common goal, support in knowing that change is difficult, but we're going to get there, and that this is a process. It's not an overnight. There's not really actually a destination. We're on this long road trip together in education where we are all in the same bus and we're going in the same direction, and eventually we're just going to be on the road forever, but we're trying to make things better. And so it's a really exciting time. So there's a number of different roles that people can play. So for educators, the role is to collaborate, to start having these conversations, to start working with each other, to start looking at your program as one segment of an entire program, rather than this is what I do and these are my four walls, but rather to look and say, this is where we're going eventually, this is where my students are going to go, and I'm preparing my students for these next steps through what I'm doing. And you know those next steps because you've had those conversations and you've been collaborating on that whole sequenced program of study. For businesses, what we're trying to do in career education is to make sure that what we're preparing students for is what they're actually going to encounter in the real world. And we need businesses' help to do that because we're in the business of education, but we have to be informed by outside sources. So we have a number of different opportunities for businesses to participate in all of these career pathways, everything from being a mentor to a student, a formalized mentor program, to having job shadows, to having internships, to being a guest speaker and having tours. All of those are opportunities for businesses to come in and have real life connections with students so that they can learn how to interact with businesses, how to connect with them, how to have some of those, we used to call them soft skills, right? The presentation skills. Although now we call them strategic skills because soft skills kind of implies that they're not important. But strategic skills really tells you the importance of having those employability skills in your repertoire. So businesses are critical to helping us relate to students and to helping students be able to understand what will be expected of them once they leave this portion of education. So we have lots of opportunities for businesses to connect in a coordinated and thoughtful way. So it's no longer kind of onesies, twosies, talk to this teacher, talk to this teacher. It's really, we have liaisons that help to connect and put you in a position where you are doing the most value with your time, because time is very valuable. So where you're providing the most service for the time that you have as a business to connect with students, all the way from high school, middle school, high school, community college, and adult school. So we're very excited about that.
It is very exciting. And you know, there's so many things. If you had to say what would be a good conduit for feedback, for a forum, because there are so many ideas, what would you suggest to the businesses, to the community that says, hey, I got an idea? Where would you say a good place to communicate that particular idea would be?
That's a great question. We have industry sector steering committees where we have for 13 different industry sectors where we have regional meetings where businesses and educators come together and have a conversation about what's happening, what they're working on, what they're doing, what the future could be. So those meetings are a great place and a great forum for businesses to come and speak to their ideas and what they need in the workforce, what they see, ideas for training. So we have a website that will be up shortly that will provide information about when those meetings are. And then we also have another work group that's looking at those strategic skills that I was talking about. What in Ventura County, what kind of soft skills, strategic skills do we need students, do we want students to have when they graduate from high school, from adult school, from community college? What do we want them to know and be able to do in terms of the fundamentals of employability when they become your employees? And so that's a place where you can bring those ideas as well, and you can participate in those conversations as we develop that curriculum and we roll out those modules to schools for teachers to teach students those strategic skills.
No, I'm really glad you brought up the soft skills, because the concept of to get into career, you need sponsorships, you need networking, you need to know how to present yourself, you need to know how to meet people, connect with people, are such vital types of skills, and it's impossible, near impossible to do it by yourself. So I would agree with you on that subject. But anything else you have that I might be blocking the way of possibly getting wisdom to the media here? I've been known to miss some things along the way.
Well, we are part of the benefit of the Career Education Center is that we're very nimble. So some education institutions are like yachts, and they're going along, but it's really difficult to turn them and to do new and innovative things. We're more like a jet ski where we can
I like that.
we can go lots of different directions and we can turn around very quickly. So we are able to design and develop classes that meet the local workforce needs. And part of our job is to identify what's not out there. What are we not providing training in? So this is how we came up with the unmanned aerial vehicles class. This is how we came up with the app design and development class. But if there are other areas in the county that we are not providing training in, then we have the ability to either develop that program through the County Office of Education or to help partner with others to develop those programs so that we can provide training that's not currently possible. So part of the vision is to take some of those classes that we've been doing forever and ever and decide, is that really valuable for students? And are we teaching this class at the expense of something new and innovative that needs to be happening where there's currently no training happening? So
Right.
An example of that would be the health information technology. There's lots and lots of work to do in the health information technology field, and there's very few training programs available to train people to do those jobs of the future. So we're very excited about being able to develop training programs that help meet the future workforce and the jobs that we don't even know exist right now.
Exactly. You know, it's funny, you read my mind from a standpoint that I would predict 5 years from now where there are going to be positions, careers that we weren't even thinking about right now, that don't exist.
Yes.
Customers that we didn't even realize that we have 5 years from now that we didn't talk about in this interview. And that's what collaboration is all about. So I also want to comment, it's nice to know that you have a life too. You're very approachable. It's nice to be on Facebook and know that you live very busy but very balanced life. So I compliment you on that as you're a role model to several people of your particular profile status, empowered woman. I'll go on and on about that. So Tiffany, it's always great to have time with you, and I just look forward to positive things here in the near future. And I was going to talk about patience, but that could take another hour. But with that, this is again Peter Godinez, your ambassador with KADY-TV, with the very brilliant, very talented Tiffany Morris, the director of the Career Education Center.